Hello and welcome to the Aaron Roussos podcast. Today's episode is a continuation of a subject that we all know, of, and I'm talking about the innate. So that thing that is you, it's a field, and it's what a kinesiologist muscle tests with to ask questions about what's going on inside all of us. Now, as with many other pieces and parts of our holistic, multidimensional being, we don't understand the mechanics of it. And I guess, in the last sort of few times that I've mentioned innate, I've sort of opened up some new revelations in regard to the innate being what you commonly know as the placebo effect. Something inside us which helps processes along, and we get results in areas we didn't expect to. Now, the other thing that is important to know about the innate is that it's an inside job. It knows nothing of what's going on outside of you. But it's in the DNA, it's in that quantum part of your DNA that can be communicated with. It does have connection to your higher self. So while your higher self is tapped into source, we can build bridges through understanding and knowledge and learning about this stuff between the two, but your innate essentially knows everything inside you. It doesn't know what's going on around you. It doesn't know what's going on outside of you. It can't see that. It doesn't know that. And this is another thing that is a revelation or something that no one knows, that while it can tell you every single thing about you, it can't tell you anything of what's going on outside of us. Everything has a process. Everything has its job. Now, the innate, I've mentioned many times before, it governs things like karma, spiritual growth, Akashic records, information from past lives, all sorts of stuff. It governs it. But that's all an internal thing. It's all inside you. And while it does work with things, the mind, the other things that do have external factors, our very words, once they become spoken, they vibrate and become frequencies in the air. They go in our ear and they can be heard as a frequency. And that's why they say in ancient times and many different indigenous writings and information that's been passed down has always been about the spoken word versus just thinking. Like thoughts have frequencies as well. They impress differently. They obviously don't get let out. And so they're a little bit different. So a lot of the instruction sense, you've probably heard sayings like, talk to your cells, they can hear you, your cells are listening, and things like that. And so there is a whole lot of things that sort of start to happen which become your expectation, which actually guide your life. Now, most of your expectations, because of what you think and how limited you are with life, is that it's pretty average. And so I don't know if you understand from science perspective what the bell-shaped curve is. And basically you're creating your own bell-shaped curve of averageness just by thinking and also by saying certain things out aloud to yourself. You must have heard people that are not of high enough self-esteem or confidence. They go, oh, I never bloody win these things. I never win these things. And the universe hears that as you never win those things. And yet you find infectiously positive and optimistic people going, I'm going to get this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to beat this, and they do. And you call it luck, and it's got nothing to do with luck. It's got to do with physics and science. It's very workable and easy to work out once you know what's happening. And obviously, subconsciously, you're doing good things and bad things and saying things and thinking things and bits and pieces. And this was all sort of untangled, I guess, from honing in on working out how and why certain illnesses and diseases were manifest and why no one could get any answers to them. And then when you look at a holistic being, I got into these sort of things. I also had a very profound experience with a kinesiologist who was able to talk to my innate 26 years ago and find out that I had a trauma within me that was from a very early age that obviously I had no idea of, had no memory of, and sometimes even traumas get completely buried to get rid of that pain. But depending on how deep, they all flick on a switch, and we can't turn that switch back on with anything that is presently available in the medical fraternity world in the world. There is not one psychologist or psychiatrist that has ever been able to flick that switch back on through talk therapy or medications. And these are facts, but numerous amounts of time a kinesiologist can find the trauma because they are able to connect to the field, which is your innate. Doctors named it the innate. They see things going on. They don't know how to explain it, so they say that something innately has taken over. So they've coined the term. And I guess for me, very profound experience. I, spent yesterday actually thanking my innate, talking out aloud to get that frequency and a vibration into my ear to thank it for doing that back then, and aiding me to pass that on and be a very rare occasion on earth that someone has recovered from a trauma. So the innate is a inside job, and it governs a few things, and as we understand that, it also has to do with because of the spiritual, I guess, governing inside that quantum part of your DNA. There's a part that will actually reduce your lifespan to get spiritual bang for buck, if that is necessarily deemed. Now, we probably don't like that. It's a system that's been going on for some time, and we can. That came up in a different project that I'm doing about a longevity project and understanding holistically what ages us, and then to find some actual practical applications to offset all of those things. So it's quite an amazing thing, the innate, and we're going to learn more about it as we go on and in the future. And as I say, you can build bridges between different parts of your triad, and with your brain and with your heart and all sorts of things. But as was alluded to back in my healing podcasts and protocols that are on my website, we have DNA efficacy as about 34%. And it wasn't always that way, which means our DNA today is not what was given to us originally. And if you go back and look at the ancients, they have a connection to a higher DNA, which gives them a better connection to the source of everything, or whatever you want to believe in, the driving energy of the universe. And so forth, things used to happen back then, and this innate has further abilities that, you might think a superhero-like at the moment, but there's other abilities that are given when that DNA efficacy is at a higher rate. Different things happen, And the innate is not immune to that. I've said many a times, the DNA is not isolated to here on Earth. It goes right throughout the universe, and therefore, if a starfish can cut its arm off and it grows back, then we have that ability to do that also. When your DNA efficacy is low, certain things happen that you don't want to happen. There's certain glitches in the system, but we don't even know the system that we belong to, and we don't know how we work. And I guess, so with the DNA, the innate, with that efficacy being, say average 34%, the innate talents and other things that I can do are not coming to the fore. They're not shown, they're not clearly defined so that you can see them. And one of them is obviously just self-diagnosis, knowing what's going on inside you. That, coupled with us going to a third, an outside source, and getting someone else to tell us what's been growing inside of us for years is one thing, and also just that simple bridge where we do get a little bit more information or a bit more connected. Because when we're connected, there's other things that can happen that aid us in having a beautiful life. So that's a little update on the innate. I'll keep this one short, which I've never done before in my life. Even when I've said I'm getting on to do a short one, they burst out of control. But I'm going to continue to, I guess, provide different aspects and information about the innate, because the one way to get benefits from it and to get these things happening for you in the processes is to learn about it. It's not a normal linear, I'll give you a class or a thing on the innate. It's just a matter of being exposed to all these sorts of information and growing within it, and then one day you will be able to give it some instructions and use it yourself, like I do on a daily basis. There is a bit more information in my book, The Absolute Theory of Everything, so far on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. If you have a subscription, you can read it for free and understand that there's a few practical applications that you can do and say to your innate every day that will extend your life, and give you a form of protection, and also drop karma. So we're cycling to a higher frequency where karma is no longer needed. We all develop, we don't see the bigger picture, and if we zoomed out we would go, oh yeah, karma is drama. And we're heading towards being a balanced human being, which means that it's not going to be needed as we develop and get higher and realize that we shouldn't kill each other and do all this, barbaric stuff that we're going to get known for during this period of time on the planet. It's going to be known as the barbaric times. And it's not going to always be like that, but we don't get to see these things because we're hyperfixated on a couple of generations. So if you want to keep developing, there's podcasts, there's the book, there's my website, and I think there's some information about different subjects connected to the innate in my blog, and also you can look at the emotional code. There's not just my sources, and not just there's many external people that have been doing this for a long time. In the healing protocols, I used a gentleman who created the emotional code, and it's like a self-kinesiologist, just a basic, very simple form of kinesiology that you can self-test with yourself. And it was just to start the process going, just to get going on that path. So it's all there. I hope you find it fascinating as I do about the innate. Ciao.